so I don't forget anything. Well, I mean, they're right here, so.
You forgot.
No. There.
You deleted it by accident. There are no notes.
I didn't really write down much, so. Alright. So, after a while, I did do another attempt to speak because there's been one thing that has been pretty popular lately, which have been kart racers. Because a lot of them came out over the last year or two. We've gotten a lot of them. Some good, some bad.
First was platform fighters, and now it's kart racing.
Yeah. Platform fighters had a phase where Smash was winding down, and then all of a sudden everyone was coming out with a platform fighter.
Everyone and their grandma.
Yeah. But kart races have been flourishing pretty well too. And we've played a lot of them. On the Attempt to Play channel, we have a lot of kart racers on there. We have a lot of decent ones. Well, I think we have mostly bad ones on there. But we've had our fair share of kart racers that we love to play. I played a lot of Sonic Racing Transformed when that had an active online.
Yeah, I had a bunch of friends. Me and my friends on 360. Well, Xbox One actually. Back when you could get it for $4. We all got it and just played online a lot.
Yeah, because that one was really good. When CTR Nitro Fuel was active, that was the best time because that game was super fun. Just being able to go online with so many different characters and stuff. It's still probably one of the best kart racers is CTR/Nitro Fuel. That kind of put them together. The original on PlayStation and Nitro Fuel, but they're both and Nitro Kart. I'd throw that one in there too. They're so good.
Not so much tag team racing.
No, that's completely different. But CTR, Nitro Kart, and Nitro Fueled are all really good, and I love those games. And then even Nick Kart Racers 3, I thought was good, which is weird because it took them 3 tries, but they did get it right, and I think Nick Kart Racers 3 is good because the first one is completely unnecessary. It's so bare bones, and then the second one is better. It still has some issues though, and it makes the first one obsolete. It shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
And the third one's good. The third one still has some weird things about it, but it's definitely the best. It's definitely much better than 1 and 2.
I like it.
But the ones that we were going to talk a bit more in detail about, there are 4 that were fairly recent. So I'm just texting it down.
Train!
So ones that were fairly recent were, there was Kart Riders Drift and Disney Speedstorm. Are the most recent ones because they've become available recently. There's one that was fairly recent but has definitely died out for obvious reasons, which was Chocobo GP. And then there's the one that is somehow still alive, which is Mario Kart 8. So I just wanted to, I guess, do a bit of a comparison between the 4. Kind of give our own takes on it, I guess, since we've both played all of them. So I guess the first thing you do is we'll start with the game setup, how the games are structured, which would be interesting since Mario Kart 8 is the oldest one and Disney Speedstorm is the most recent one. Now Mario Kart 8 is basically set up exactly like Mario Kart's always been. Mario Kart, when it comes to the game's setup, it has not changed since Wii. Mario Kart's always Mario Kart Wii defined what Mario Kart is from that point forward. And while gameplay wise they're different, structurally when it comes to the various I guess say setups when it comes to the menus and the UI and stuff, we decided what Mario Kart is going to be from now on, and it's kind of stayed that way. Not including 7. I didn't play 7 a whole lot, and that was the 3DS one. I think that, I guess that would exclude DS and 7.
The menu options in that game are still the same.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were
Same idea.
Yeah, they just had to be set up differently because they were dual screen, but otherwise, and then, and I know that Kart Riders Drift and Disney Speedstorm were the free ones. Although I don't know if the free version of Disney Speedstorm is available yet. I actually don't know. Because I got the Founders Edition when it became available because I was excited to play it. And Kart Riders Drift just kind of happened because I forgot what day it came out, and then it just did, so I got it and it was free. Chocobo GP is the problem. Because that was, I believe that was either 40 or 50 when it came out. I actually can't remember.
I think it was 40.
Yeah, it was one of the two. But I did buy it when it came out. Now, the issue is that the only game of these three that did not have a battle pass with Mario Kart. The other three did, which is a problem because Chocobo GP is the only one that was not free and had a battle pass. And that was already a problem. Like, they should not have done that.
Chocobo GP was the only one that you had to buy and had a racing pass. Disney Speedstorm, you don't have to buy and has a racing pass.
I believe, that one's going to be free and has a racing pass, obviously. And then
Kart Riders Drift is free with a racing pass.
So unfortunately, Chocobo GP dug its own grave as soon as it came out. Because you can't charge people $40 to $50 and then charge them another $10 for a racing pass. Like, you can't put a battle pass in a game that's not free. What are you, Overwatch?
Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, it's like, you don't do that. Because the pass is like how you would make your money. Because you're supposed to make the game free. Like, isn't that like the point of passes? So that way you can continuously add content and have people pay for it because they enjoy your game.
No, pay me for doing it.
It's
and
like
then I'll have you
having a setup like a free game and not being free, like, will stray a lot of people away from your game because they're just like, oh, I have to do all of this stuff, but also like I have to pay this like $40 to $50 like up front before I can pay any of the other stuff, and it's like I don't want to do all that. So when Chocobo GP, like, a lot of people didn't buy it because they're like, that's stupid, I'm not playing that. I'll just stick with Mario Kart. Yeah. Which is kind of just how the whole thing has been when it comes to kart racers. People are just like, I'll just stick with Mario Kart. For all three of these games, actually. Well, no, maybe not so much Kart Riders because that one's actually free, so people are just like, I'll try it.
And it's on mobile.
Yeah.
So if they want a portable one. Mm-hmm. That isn't on the Switch. You just have it on your phone.
Yeah. So the next category I want to talk about was the speed of these games, because they definitely vary. Because at least from what I can tell, or at least from what I remember, I believe that of these four, Kart Riders Drift is the slowest.
Yeah.
But the other three are fairly evenly matched. I feel like Disney Speedstorm is the fastest.
Some people would argue maybe, like in some instances, Chocobo Racing would be faster.
It could be, but at least for the most part, I feel like Chocobo GP, Mario Kart 8, and Disney Speedstorm were fairly equal when it came to speed, but I do feel like I personally feel like Disney Speedstorm was the fastest one.
With Mario Kart, I feel like Disney Speedstorm probably goes as fast as Mario Kart with 200cc with tracks that are made for it. That's how I feel.
Well, yeah. Well, 200 is crazy for Mario Kart. Like, maybe like Disney Speedstorm's at like 175-ish. Maybe it's not quite 200. I have to do 200 again because I haven't played Mario Kart 8 in so long that I don't even remember its speed.
For terms of Mario Kart, it's uncontrollably fast because again the courses aren't made for you to go that fast.
Yeah, that's true. But that's what makes it fun is like adapting.
Adapt. Who cares? Just adapt.
Learn or
fall off the course.
Yeah. And I definitely like my games on the faster side, but overall I enjoy all four of these kart racers, so I don't think any of them are like bad for it. It's different. Kart Riders Drift is just structured in a bit of a slower manner compared to the other three. I wouldn't consider it a slow game. It's just slower than the other three.
Yeah.
The next category I have is mechanics. So like what you have available to you that isn't item wise in the games. Because I know Mario Kart's got its whole like gravity thing going on.
And underwater.
Yeah. But it can vary just because sometimes the gravity thing changes underwater and sometimes it doesn't. Because when you go into like your zero gravity mode, then you can bump people and you spin and then you both get a boost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas if you're just in your normal kart mode, you just hit each other and slow down.
Or if you're bigger, then you move them out of the way. Because weight does matter.
Obviously, all four games have drifting, which are all kind of different. But I mean, Mario Kart is like the one that people generally know.
Chocobo's the same way.
Chocobo's is very similar to Mario Kart. I believe, I think they're the closest to being like the same thing.
Because both games hop before they drift.
Yeah,
And
they both have
and depending on your handling will determine how like tight your drift.
Yeah, both of them like you have to press and hold the jump button to drift, whereas in Kart Riders Drift and Disney Speedstorm,
has a drift button.
yeah, they have their jump and drift. Kart Riders Drift have a jump button? Actually,
No, they both don't have a jump button. Well, no, Disney
Speedstorm has a jump button, but it also has a drift button.
Kart Riders Drift doesn't.
Okay, well, I don't feel like it needs one, honestly.
No, there's no reason to jump over things. It's not really made to do that unless you're going off. Unless you go off a jump. But
and then Disney Speedstorm also has its manual boost mechanic. So you have like a meter that you would build up through various ways depending on the characters that you pick. In which when that meter is full, you can hit a button to have a boost until the meter goes empty.
Kart Riders kind of does the same thing with their speed mode.
Yeah.
But instead of actually having a meter and then using it, they give you a boost item and then the meter goes empty.
Yeah, they give you the boost item. So.
And then in team races, they give you a blue boost if you have one available, and then your boost that you have will turn blue, which is just like a double speed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's restricted to a particular mode, whereas the manual boost in Disney Speedstorm is just always that's just a part of the whole game.
Yeah.
Where like Kart Riders Drift, they separate items and speed into two separate categories. And then Mario Kart also had its the glide mechanic that they had since 7.
Which I feel is unnecessary.
A little bit.
At this point,
it's mostly just used in order for them to structure like their courses differently. They have like the gliding sections. Although what sucks is that if you're gliding and you get hit by an item,
you're falling and then
plummet, and that sucks.
And then depending on where you are, it'll get just put in front where you're trying to go, or put all the way back, and you have to glide again.
It might just depend on what's closer. I'm not sure though.
Yeah.
And then Chocobo GP doesn't have any of those things. So.
Oh well, you can't forget Disney Speedstorm has grinding on it too.
Yes, it does. It has like grind routes that you can ride. That will give you boost meter.
Which is even more of a punishment than getting hit with gliding with Mario Kart. If you're on a grind rail, wherever you started on the grind rail, you get hit, you get sent to the back, and then you get sent back to where you were before you got on the grind rail.
Yeah, if you go off course in Disney Speedstorm, it will always send you backwards. Whereas in Mario Kart, like if you're close enough, it will move you a little forward, but like Lakitu has to come get you. And then in Chocobo GP, they had to fish you out as well. Although it was a bit slower in that game.
It is a bit slower. It's like what Lakitu used to do compared to what he does now.
Yeah, it's like old Lakitu, where especially in Mario Kart 64, it was slow as hell. It was like the slowest he's ever been. And I think at least just for in-game mechanics, it's mainly it. For all of them?
Yeah, pretty much.
For the most part, yeah. So I guess we can just move on to the next one, which is like the items. like general items that you have available to you in each game, because they're quite different actually. And I think the only one that kind of has everything is Mario Kart.
Yeah, it's got a lot of items.
Yeah, because Mario Kart's got like the shells that you would throw and they kind of ricochet around. It's got the homing ones.
It's got the blue one that hits the person in first.
Yeah, it's got the lightning to hit everybody. Although
it's got the blooper.
Was there
in front of you?
Yeah.
People.
Mm-hmm. Now, was there a Mario Kart where the lightning only hit the people in front of you, and not the people behind you? Or does lightning always hit everyone?
Lightning always hit everybody, but depending on which position you used it, will determine how people are affected.
Okay.
So like if you save it till if you get it in last, you save it till first, then everyone behind you probably just shrinks and then immediately grows because you're in front of them. But but if you're like in 6, then the 2 people that are behind you will just shrink and then grow again. And the people in front of you, depending on how far they are, will be affected. The time for them to be shrunk will be affected differently.
Okay. I could have swore there was a Mario Kart where the lightning didn't hit the people behind you.
Well, there's always those team races that only hit the people that are against you.
Yeah.
And then there's also the lightning cloud.
Mm-hmm.
That was only in Wii. Where you had the cloud that makes you go faster, but after a certain time, whoever has it shrinks.
Yeah. That wasn't Wii. I think that was only Wii. That was a weird item, anyways, because you had to bump people to give it to them.
And they do hot potato with it.
Yeah, basically. That item was weird. And see now, I like the way Chocobo GP did items, where it was like there aren't as many items, but the items have like a level 1, 2, and 3 depending on what you collect. So you have like the bronze. I guess they're just eggs. I can't remember. That you would collect and it would just give you a random item, and you can hold up to 3. And then if you got a silver one, it would level up an item you already have. Otherwise, it would just give you a random one. And then the gold one would give you guaranteed 2 of the same item. It would just pick an item at random and give you 2 of them.
Yeah.
So like you could have a fireball, in which a level 1 fireball just goes forward. A level 2 fire would hit the person in front of you, and then level 3 would go for the person in first.
Yeah.
Or you could have what was it, Bahamut? Or I don't think it was Bahamut, it was the dragon. That was basically the bullet bill of the game. Where it was just like how long it would last depending on what level it was. Or you could have like 3 different items. Like you could have like the wind power, the fire, and the dragon. So I always thought it was cool that you could like have multiple types of items. So like you could have 3 weak items, or you could just have 1 really strong item, or 1 like decently strong and 1 weak.
Right.
So it's just like there's all different kinds of things you could do with it. But you also had to like make sure that you were grabbing the correct ones, because you couldn't change the order. Like whatever one you had in front, you had to use that before you could use the next one.
Yeah.
But I thought it was good. I very much enjoyed it. So being more aware of like it made the items that you grab onto feel more important. Because in Mario Kart, can't you only hold like 1 item?
You get 2.
Oh,
Mario
you do get 2?
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had to hold 2.
Okay, I think the original 8 only gave you 1.
You only had 1. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
Even if you hold it behind you, then the item space is still taken.
Yeah.
You only got to hold 1.
And then Disney Speedstorm items tend to vary. I feel like they did a decent job with them though, where it's just like characters can only get certain items.
Depending on their racing class.
Yeah, depending on the racing class, which is another thing that of these games. I guess you could say that is a thing that only Speedstorm did, was that characters have various classes. Because Chocobo GP didn't do it, and Kart Riders didn't do it. Mario Kart kinda did it, but they didn't really tell you about it. Like, they did, like, categorize characters by weights, but that was kinda it.
Yeah, and then depending on the weight will determine if you're if you have more speed handling or acceleration.
Yeah, characters were kind of just categorized by their weight, but that was really it. Whereas Disney Speedstorm had like a brawler class, a trickster class, a defender class, and a speedster class. And you would get various things because they also have like car combat where you can like bump each other. Where like the speedster class gets meter if it goes off of boost pads. They get like boost meter for it. The tricksters can bump people and would like flip their screen, which I absolutely hate.
Your screen gets flipped and you get bumped by a trickster. Yeah.
Because there's also an item that does that. The defender gets a shield if they bump people. And I believe the defender gets meter from being in people's slipstream. So if you're like if you're driving like behind somebody, you get meter for it. And then the brawler can. I think the brawler. Does the brawler stun people when he bumps them?
They do a wipeout as if they got hit by an item.
Yeah. So
when you get bumped.
Yeah, so you can basically stun people if you bump them. Which is a thing that the game doesn't tell you about, is that's a mechanic in the game. You kind of have to figure it out on your own, though.
Yeah, the game doesn't tell you.
Yeah.
The game doesn't tell you what slipstream is either.
Yeah, it doesn't teach you about that. That's another thing you have to figure out, because like you can ride behind people, and I guess it's like slingshotting, but because the game is so fast, it's not easy to do.
Not even easy to tell if you're even slipstream or not.
Yeah. I have to check that again. I don't know how to do that.
Because there were a few challenges where they want you to slipstream for just 10 seconds. It's like, I don't even know what slipstream is, but I still got it.
Yeah. But back to the items. So for Disney Speedstorm, for character, like various classes and characters, there are certain items that you can get. And then you have like a normal version and a charged version. So you get the normal version of the item if you press the button, and then you get the charged version if you hold the button. So like there's the boost item where if you just press it, it just gives you a boost, or if you hold it, it will give you 3 smaller boosts, like one after another. There's like the shield item in which if you just press it, it gives you a shield, but if you hold it, it will give you a red barrier that is not a shield, but will hurt somebody if they touch it. And you can have both shields up at the same time, because I do that a lot.
Yeah, just have both.
Yeah. So it'd be various things like that, which isn't too bad. It at least gives variety to the items. Like the blade item, you can like press the button and shoot out of forward or backwards, but if you hold it, it's like homing. But it doesn't go as far, but it's like it will lock on to the person in front of you and hit them. And then also, 3 of the 4 games have like special items, or at least kinda. Chocobo GP characters had special items.
Yep.
And Disney Speedstorm characters have special items. Mario Kart has its own kind of unique item that everyone can get. That's like the Crazy 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
Where it just kind of gives you 8 items.
It just gives you 8.
Yeah. And because 7 had 7, and they had to 1-up it, so they made it 8. Because Double Dash had specials, which was cool. But I think that was the only one that had that. Because we didn't have that.
Yeah, what they ended up doing was they took some specials and just made them items.
Yeah, they just made them normal items, so no one had any specials in Wii. Which sucks, because I thought, like, having specials just makes picking the character you pick seem more important. It puts more on the character that you choose, which I like, so.
Well, with Mario Kart, it would still determine weight, and every character's stats are different, even if the carts are the same.
Yeah, that's true. Although, wasn't there a Mario Kart where they didn't show you stats? I think that was Wii. I think Mario Kart Wii characters had stats, but they didn't show you the stats.
No, it was, we did.
Did it?
Oh, it did. I think it did during single player only.
Yeah.
But
you'd have to go into single player to see character stats.
Double Dash never did.
I think Double Dash carts had stats.
Oh yeah, cards had stars.
Yeah, the cards had stars for like, which were technically the stats, and you could only see them in single player. But also like the car you could pick depended on the characters you chose, because some characters couldn't ride in certain cards. So
Some were too big, so it wouldn't work.
I was always a Waluigi and Birdo in Waluigi's car in that game. That was my favorite team. Yeah, and then Kamen Rider Drift just recently added stats to their game.
Yeah, but the card's the only thing that matters because the character doesn't do anything.
Yeah, the characters don't really affect the game at all. It's just you pick the one you like. So.
Yeah. And Disney has stats. Like everyone's completely.
Oh yeah, well that's because that one is focused on that, like the various character stats and stuff, is a big part of that game. So I guess we'll move on to characters, in which are a big part when it comes to car races are the characters that you play. Now Mario Kart 8 has a lot of characters. I don't know if I can say it's the best Mario Kart roster. I mean,
it's the biggest.
Yeah, it's the biggest. I don't. That doesn't make it the best.
Yeah, I wouldn't really call it the best though.
Because if you had to think back, which Mario Kart would you say had the best roster?
Either Double Dash or Wii, I feel like.
I would probably say Wii. I think Mario Kart Wii had the best roster. I feel like it had the most variety when it came to characters, because Mario Kart 8 has like what, 4 Marios and 4 Peaches, and like every Mario character has 2 iterations.
Every baby has a big one.
Yeah, there's like for Mario, there's like regular Mario, Baby Mario, Tanuki Mario, and Metal Mario, and then there's Peach, Baby Peach, Cat Peach, and Pink Gold Peach. Which Pink Gold Peach is my favorite character.
Which is a disappointment because Tanuki Mario and Cat Peach came with were like later additions.
Yeah, and
it's like, okay, so you added them in later?
Yeah, just added a 4th version of characters that already have 3 iterations in the game. It's like, I mean, why not 4, right? Yeah, and then Luigi and Rosalina and Daisy all have baby forms that are in the game.
Yeah, babies.
Yeah, and then
see, now, what they did with Shy Guy and Yoshi is that they gave them different colors when they're selected. At least they don't have their own character spaces with different stats and call them different characters.
You know, like the Koopa Kids.
like the Koopa
like
Kids.
having all 7 Koopa Kids in the game, which I feel is unnecessary. All 7 Koopa
all
Kids
7 and Bowser Jr.
I feel like they didn't need to do that.
Yeah, then, Bowser, Dry Bowser.
Oh yeah, those are separate characters, huh?
Yep.
See, it was cool when we did it. I don't know if it's cool when 8 does it.
Because 7 didn't do it. Dry Bowser wasn't in 7.
Yeah.
And then they brought him back for 8.
Yeah, because like having like a strange like variation of a character was cool in Wii because it didn't happen that often. Like, was Metal Mario in Wii?
Metal Mario's first game was 7.
Yeah, so he wasn't in that one. Because yeah, there was like Mario and Baby Luigi, but I think they were the only babies.
Yeah, and then we introduced Peach and Daisy babies.
Mm-hmm. But like we had Bowser and Dry Bowser, and that was cool because that was like Dry Bowser's first appearance, and then it also had Donkey Kong and Funky Kong, and that was cool. But like those were the only like weird variations. Because in Wii I played Daisy in Mario Kart Wii. I liked her, so.
Right.
And in 7 I would play Daisy, and then in 8 I switched to Pink Gold Peach. So, but yeah, I feel like, although I will say I think Mario Kart 8's roster is better than 7's. 7 picked weird characters. Why is Wiggler a character?
Yeah, Wiggler and Honey Queen.
Why is Honey Queen a kid? That's so red. That's too red. That is too random of a pick.
I do kind of wish they came back for 8 though.
It's weird that maybe
I mean, it's weird that they're there in the first place, but why didn't they come back?
I mean, since they're still releasing courses for Mario Kart 8, maybe they will show up. Maybe Honey Queen was because she was a Mario Galaxy character.
Yeah, she was ginormous, and they shrunk her down. And
Yeah,
put her in a car.
Yeah, I mean, if she could do it, then I guess that justifies Ridley doing it in Smash Ultimate.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you see how big Ridley is in Brawl? Dude, huge. And they
Shrink
cut her down to like
fighting.
40% size to fit her in the game.
Yeah.
And in goddamn Smash for Wii U, on Pyrosphere, the stage that didn't come back, like Ridley can appear on that stage, and he's huge. Maybe they didn't bring it back because that's the other M stage, and I'm the only person that likes that game. So
Probably because if they brought it back, they didn't have the Ridley hazard that people would complain about it.
you can turn hazards off.
Yeah, I mean, you can turn it off, but you gotta have on and off. You can't just have like Pyrosphere unselectable if Ridley's in the fight.
Yeah. And so to make up for it, they brought back Pac-Land.
It's like, oh, I picked ew. Whatever Pac-Man.
Yeah, they were just like, oh, we couldn't bring back Pyrosphere, so
It
do
was Pac-Land.
the worst stage. But yeah, so I do feel like Mario Kart Wii had the best roster. Mario Kart 8's roster isn't bad because I mean they have like Animal Crossing characters and Splatoon characters and Link, which is cool. I wish Zelda was there, but Link is there. So the fact that like it's the first Mario Kart.
Where does this fall in the Zelda timeline? When did Link have time to do kart racing?
Right after it was after his crossbow training.
He did do kart training.
Does Rob appearing in Mario Kart DS count as a crossover or a guest? Does Rob count as a guest?
Yeah, kind of like how he does in Brawl and every other Smash onward. He'd be considered a guest.
Well, I mean, Smash doesn't count. But in Smash, he's not a guest because if you're not, you're a guest if you're not Nintendo.
You're not Nintendo. Well, I mean, I guess in Mario Kart specifically, you'd be considered a guest if you're not a Mario character.
Yeah. I don't think Donkey Kong characters count as guests either. Because that would be like saying DK is a guest in Mario Kart 64.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't see him that way.
Yeah. They're on a weird line.
Yeah.
They're on a weird gray area.
Well, that's because there's like Mario Kart's like there's like the Mario characters and then the used to be Mario characters that are no longer Mario.
There's the Mario characters and the Mario Universe characters.
Yeah.
They're like different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that would make Mario Kart 8 the second game to have a guest if you count Rob being in DS as the first one, then having Villager and Isabelle and Link and the Squid Kids in 8.
Yeah.
And like I said, they are coming out with more courses, and they said there would be more characters because they added Birdo, which is cool because I like Birdo, so I'm glad she came back.
Yeah.
But they could always add guests. I mean, it would be kind of random, but they could.
They put Chocobo characters in it.
They could bring Rob back.
The Chocobo GP's over, so they put Chocobo in Mario Kart.
I don't know about that, but I mean, like, they could bring Rob back. He was only in one game.
Which is weird.
Yeah, it's weird that he was in DS and then never came back.
Probably because it's like, oh, he's in Brawl too. Let's put him in it.
It's weird that they put him in DS though.
I
don't know why that happened.
That game was coming out, so they just put him in it. He was also the best character in the game. It was Rob. He was really good.
Huh. Yeah. And then when it came to Chocobo GP, it had a good roster. Like, it had all the characters. Granted, it had strange variations of a lot of them, but a lot of them were there. However...
Like outfits and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, some characters got shafted when it came to outfits, and got very few. Like my girl Shiva.
Like Shiva and Kamala.
Shiva got one outfit. Shiva got one.
Kamala got one on Easter and one at the end.
Yeah, so Camilla got two, and Shiva got one. Shiva got one swimsuit outfit, which I do like, but that's the only one she got before they stopped supporting the game. But here's the thing, with Chocobo GP, the way Chocobo GP is now is how it should have been from the beginning.
When it came out.
Because currently, if you play Chocobo GP right now, you can unlock everything by just playing the game. You play the game, you get tickets, you can get everything. All the costumes came back, they put Cloud back. Because Cloud was in season 1 and then never came
and then
back.
removed.
And then once they
Like,
stopped
he was in the
supporting,
past.
yeah,
We'll
once they
look at him
stopped,
next year.
yeah, once they stopped supporting the game, they put him back in, so you could just get him. So you could get everything just by playing the game, and that's how it should have been. If you're charging like $50 for this game, you shouldn't be charging an additional 10 every 2 months on top of that. That's very discouraging.
Yeah. How much money do you need? Just from one sale.
Square Enix just doesn't have good business practices. They just do a lot of things wrong, but they don't see the problem. That's why Chocobo GP and FF7 First Soldier are both gone unless they both came and went. It's because Square Enix just, I feel like they do too much and then can't manage it all and have to cut things off. Because they were doing that. They have FF7 Remake. FF16 is on the way. Forspoken is getting DLC. They're still doing. There's like 1 or 2 other games too, but they're just doing so much. Like they were working on Live Alive at that time. Like they had so many games that they were working on, like all at the same time. They were like
They're pulling a Capcom.
Yeah, they were like overrunning themselves.
Capcom 2016.
Yeah, when
2016
Capcom had like
4 games all at the same time.
Yeah, like within 2 years they released like 4 fighting games, along with other games.
Along with
It's
the ones
like,
that are currently
it's like,
making.
bro, it's like
Slow down.
take it easy, because then the games don't get enough time, and then they have issues, and then they never get fixed.
Especially if they're released on the Wii, you can't fix it.
Yeah. But now, when it comes to rosters, I feel like Disney Speedstorm is kind of at a disadvantage because it's the most recent one, so it hasn't updated new characters into the game yet. Because currently there's only 18, which is, for Disney, that is very little. But I know that they're going to be updating the game regularly, and they're going to add more characters. Like, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It just hasn't yet because this season hasn't ended. The season's got another, like, week. I think another week, maybe 2.
About.
Yeah, before the next one starts. So its roster is just okay. Just because it's so small. But, I mean, you got Mickey in there. And, I mean, that's
all you really
that's
need.
the only one people care about.
I mean, Mickey players online are something to fear.
Yeah.
So there's an online player, they're playing Mickey. They're probably
Every
really
game's
good.
got a try-hard character. And Mickey is the try-hard character. Yeah. And then Kurt Rider's Drift is kind of in a unique predicament because most of them are original characters that were only for that game. You know,
at the start.
with the exception of a couple of characters that were recently added, like the 2 Maple Story characters.
In the BT21 group.
Yeah, which I've never heard of, but they got characters in the game, so... So, I mean, they're making things happen. It's just that most of the characters are original characters, so it's not like they have, like, a franchise
so
to base it off of.
Yeah, they started with original characters, and then I think they had another Kart Riders game before Kart Riders Drift, and so everyone from that game is pretty much in Drift. Mostly everybody, because there are still original characters that are in like that they showed off that are not there yet. Like the pirate guy didn't show up till season 2.
Yeah, the pirate guy, like, just showed
guy.
up, like, recently. Yeah, when season 2 started was when they added him. And there's still a couple
There's
missing.
still a couple other characters. Same with courses. Some of the courses that were in the betas aren't even in the game yet.
Maybe they felt they needed fixes. I'm not really sure.
But that's pretty much where Kart Rider is right now.
Yeah. So the next thing I wanted to mention is difficulty, because it's like, of these 4 games, Mario Kart is the easiest. It was made to be that way. It was made to be kid friendly, so like kids, even who are not good at kart racers,
Can still
enjoy the game and just pick whatever character that they like and can just drive around and have a good time. I feel like it's the only one that's structured that way.
Yeah, the only thing that Mario Kart doesn't have that the rest of them do, except no, Chocobo doesn't either, is auto excel.
Does Turbo GP not have that?
I don't think it did.
Mario Kart does.
Mario Kart has driving assist. So the game will prevent you from bumping into walls, but it won't accelerate for you.
No, it will. Mario Kart has both.
Oh, it does?
Yes.
Okay.
'Cause
I didn't think it did.
Yeah, it has an auto excel and an auto turn, or a driving assist. Disney Speedstorm, I don't think has either. Does it?
It does.
Does it? I actually don't remember.
Yeah, automatic. I don't have automatic turn. I think.
Yeah, so that's like a driving assist.
I think.
I
At
think
the start of the game, you have to turn it off.
Actually, yeah, I think Disney Speedstorm has both.
At the start of the game, you have to turn it off. It even asks if you want it on or not when you boot up the game.
Oh, that's right.
If
Yeah.
you want it.
And then Kart Riders Drift has a driving assist.
Yeah, so you can just watch the game play for you. You can just use items.
Yeah,
And the game will
basically.
just drive for you.
It's like you have to have them both on or both off. But one other thing is that for difficulty would be, I feel like Disney Speedstorm might be the hardest to get into because there's a lot of things that you have to manage and learn. Like you have to learn about character shards. You have to learn about resources to level up characters. You have to learn which characters get which items. There's like the star ranking system for every character.
Figuring out what charge specials compared to regular.
Yeah, figuring out like
with
what items what characters get and the 2 variations of every item and character supers. Like I feel like there's just a lot to take in.
And then it doesn't help the fact that the menu's all over the place.
Yeah, it is definitely the most confusing menu of all the games. Like it's everywhere. Like you have to. It's like trying to learn the Xbox home screen.
It's like you first boot up the Xbox One. It's like, okay, what now?
Yeah, it's just like, well, you
It's all over
gotta
the place.
sit there for a bit and like learn it. Yeah, and obviously Mario Kart keeps it simple as it should. Chocobo GPs is generally not that complicated because there isn't as much to the game. And then Kart Riders Drift isn't too bad.
No, I just feel like for the hardest thing about Chocobo would be to figure out what each level of the items do, and then figuring out the best way to manage your items as you're driving. And figure out like if you want to keep an item or get rid of it.
Yeah, and the character specials.
And then learning all the character specials. That's probably the most difficult the Choco racing gets.
Yeah,
not too
but
bad.
it's really not too bad. Disney Speedstorm I feel like is the hardest to get into. Kart Riders Drift isn't too bad just because like there are no character specials. Although I will say one thing that we didn't talk about is that the items in Kart Riders Drift I do not like. I don't like that every item is homing.
Yeah, right.
And if you don't have a shield, you can't avoid it. Like that sucks.
Yeah, because UFO will go for first. You have the rocket you have to lock on for the rocket.
Yeah.
If you don't have a target, same with the magnet, then it doesn't work. But there's still like the water. There's still like the water like little fairy thing.
Yeah, that one
automatically hits someone in
guaranteed to
front of
like
you.
hit someone in front of you.
And then there's a water balloon that just goes forward and then has a giant explosion that's probably guaranteed to hit anybody that's in front of you if you're close enough. And then they have boost. And then the wall that has like 3 barriers.
Yeah, the
that appear in
barricades,
front.
yeah.
That's guaranteed to appear in front of the person in front of you. That in first. They're guaranteed to affect them.
Yeah. And
then lightning. It hits everybody.
yeah. I don't like how like a shield is the only way to block everything. Except the UFO, that doesn't work. You need the UFO jammer.
Jammer.
Yeah, you need the space jammer. But I hate that like if you don't have a shield, like because in Mario Kart and in Disney Speedstorm, even without a shield, there is a chance that someone will shoot an item at you and miss. In Kart Riders, that will not happen. If you don't have a shield, you will get hit.
But item races, everyone's always so close to each other because of all the items.
I was gonna say, because honestly, I have grown to dislike item races and pretty much only do speed because I just get so annoyed with the items. The only item in that game that's not homing is banana.
Yeah, the banana.
And it's funny because banana doesn't pop up that often.
Yeah, banana doesn't happen.
you get banana the least.
Right.
And I'm just annoyed with the items, how crazy it is, how unavoidable it is. So I'd rather just play without them and just do speed, because speed is fun. 'Cause if you get good at the courses, it could be a good time. Um, but yeah, that's just how I felt about those items. I feel like of the items, Kart Rider's Drift is the worst.
Yeah.
It's just the most aggravating. Disney Speedstorm can be aggravating, but it's mainly because of the AI.
It's mostly AI.
Like-
I'm not really too aggravated with online though.
And no, online
it's
isn't
not
too
that
bad, but for some reason in Disney Speedstorm, the AI is infuriating. Especially when you play on high difficulties, they are brutal.
They're like relentless.
Yeah, they are brutal and they are perfect. Where like if you are driving for like no more than a couple seconds and nothing's happening, like they'll just hit you.
They'll just bump into you.
Yeah,
They'll literally just go out
like
and
you will
hit
just
you.
you will just get hit all of a sudden.
There was one time where I was like alone, and then it was like at the start of the race, so I actually got away from everybody, and then one turn, and then the AI went like literally 90 degrees to bump me, and then as the others were going through, he actually got like turned 180. It's like they will literally go out of their way to do it.
Yeah, well, the AI is programmed to make sure that you don't win, so they don't care if they lose. They just have to make sure that you don't win.
And it's so bad because if they're not drifting, then they'll like go next to you, bump, and then go away from you. They'll like poop.
Yeah, it's
Especially it's especially scary when they have the barrier. Cause it's like, oh, we're going in a straight line and I'm going faster than them. They're just gonna come near me and do that. It's like, oh god.
In front of you, you gotta jump. But yeah, and then also Disney Speedstorm has various challenges, which I think is just for the single player against the AI. Of all the challenges that you can do, and honestly, most of them suck.
Yeah, I mean, the only ones that I actually like doing are the ones with like, oh, get third, second, first, because it's just like a normal race. Just go.
Yeah, but that's not what I meant. I meant the different race modes. Like single weapon. It's not great.
Single weapon's bad.
Last man standing is not great.
Elimination
Fog is the
races.
worst. I hate fog. When you literally can only see, you can barely see in front of you, and you just have to drive and hope you win.
Well, this is what happens when your cars don't have headlights. All right, these cars don't have headlights, so you can't see.
Yeah, it's like the challenges, like the racing challenges they came up with are all crap, and I don't like them. I know they did it for like variety, but I don't like it. And then there's one that's where there's like there's like the boss races where there's one AI that's harder than the rest.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, because that's still just a normal
It's just a
race.
normal race.
It's
It's
just
one
one AI is like a higher difficulty than the rest.
It's fine.
That's like whatever, but all the other ones.
Yeah,
are
but
dumb.
I have a great disdain for elimination races. Just not the fact like how elimination works, where it's like, oh, a timer and then the person in last gets out. It's just how they went about doing it.
Yeah, since for elimination races, it's that you have like drones, which are basically similar to like balloons in Mario Kart. When then there's a timer, and then when the timer hits 0, whoever's in last will lose a balloon, and then gets moved to first. And then it keeps doing that until if you are in last and you have no drones left, then you're just eliminated. But if you have one, it'll take one away and move you to first. But as you do that, the timer gets shorter.
Yeah,
Every time?
the timer gets shorter every second because you like start at like 15 and everyone has like either 2 or 3 drones, so you hit a point where, oh, this person's out 2 seconds and the next person's
Yeah,
out.
because it's like it takes like a second away every time, and I think it only goes down. I think once it hits like 3 or 2 seconds, it can't go any lower.
So eventually you hit a point where it's like, oh, if you, wherever you're moved to, that's the order that you're gonna get eliminated in.
Yeah, and that's really weird. I feel like it shouldn't have done that because, like, once you reach a point where you're at like 2 seconds, then like there's no way to catch anybody. It's just, and you're just gonna start eliminating people in order. It's not like you have time to change that. So.
Right. It's like, and even like when they get eliminated, even like the elimination part is faulty, because you'll get like eliminated or like that. So your turn to get eliminated, you lose the drone, but it takes a second before they grab you and move you up. So if for whatever reason you get hit before they grab you, you don't move. and then you have 2 seconds to try and get in front of somebody.
So
it's impossible.
You'll lose a drone and then get hit, and then you'll lose another drone.
And then you lose the time they grab you, so you don't move, and then you just lose another one. So it's like, oh, I lost 2 drones because I got hit. And even then, if you were to get eliminated, there's even a chance where they won't put you in first. They'll put you behind They'll put you behind the person in first. And if there's only 2 people, then they put you behind the person in first. And it's like 2 seconds, go. You gotta do it.
Yeah, the fact that they shorten the timer, like, to go that low is a problem. Like, it shouldn't go down to 2 seconds. That's just unreal. That's like, what do you do with that? There's nothing you can do.
And even if it's not like a short timer, sometimes they put the person in first too far ahead. Where it's like the issue where they put you behind the person first will occur more often because that other person that got eliminated is gone. So it's gonna take probably like 3 more eliminations until you get back to the person that was eliminated. So that person first is just way too far ahead.
So far ahead that they only put you in second.
They only put you in second. So the next couple eliminations only put you in second.
Yeah.
It's just done poorly.
That might just be a fluke.
I don't know. It's happened way too often. I think the game is programmed to do that. I doubt it's a fluke at this point.
I'm not sure. I haven't done the mode enough to really notice something like that.
But they should have just done what Sonic and also they should have just done what Sonic did. With both of their races did for elimination races. It's like, oh, the race starts, then after like a minute, then people start getting eliminated every 45 seconds. Yeah, it's like whoever's in last.
It was like and if you're in last, you're just out. So it was like the first one was like a minute, and then after that it was like 45 seconds. And if you were in last, you were just out of the race. Like you didn't get lives or anything. You were just out.
Because it's like the pressure is still on to not be in last, but it's not impossible to not get out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, because that one was fun. Granted, if you were good at the game, they were a bit easy, but I mean, they're more enjoyable than. Because I know Disney's trying to do something different, or whatever company is making this game. They're trying to do something different. I just don't really feel like it's working. And please get rid of the fog challenges, because I hate them.
At least make it less severe.
Yeah, because the fog challenge. Like, you literally can't see anything.
Because you're better off playing with your eyes closed.
Yeah, because the only thing you can see is your car. Like, you can't see turns that come up. So unless you memorize the course, what are you supposed to do?
you're in a situation where there's no walls, so it's like you can't determine where like the end of the course is, and you're just in an open area and you just see nothing but ground. It's like where am I?
Everything is gray. It's like playing Silent Hill 1 on PlayStation, where you just run and hope there's something ahead.
Hope it's not like a wall or a turn that you didn't take or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, the fog challenge is too much. The fog needs to back the fuck up a little bit. It's getting too close. And then just single skill just gets boring when there's only one item that every character gets.
Especially if it's bomb, because AI is perfect.
Yeah, especially if it's bomb or blade. It's generally, I think those are the only 2 it can be. Because I've never seen it be anything else. And that gets mad annoying. Yeah, bomb is mad annoying. So, yeah, and then Kart Rider's Drift only has like the 2 modes. It has like the items or speed, and I just stick with speed because I get so annoyed with items. I just don't want to do that. And then, I mean, Mario Kart had its battle mode.
Yeah, that's cool, but at least you're not racing each other while doing it.
Yeah, it's not like...
Well, like 3 balloons, do 3 laps or whatever.
I think that's what they wanted you to do in the original Mario Kart 8, the battle mode. That was the worst battle mode ever.
Oh yeah, the battle mode, you're on an actual track. It's like you're to fight.
Yeah, but it's the whole course.
It's the whole course.
And it's just like, what? The hell is that? What is this?
They put on a real course. Like, you're on Yoshi's circuit. You're on Yoshi's circuit with no shortcuts, so you have to follow the track exactly to find everybody.
He wants to I remember the first time I tried the battle mode in that game. I only did it once, and I can't remember the name of the course. It was a pretty standard course, but it was kind of big. And so I drove around for almost a minute, didn't see anybody. Just no one around. Felt like I was doing time attack, but the timer was going down. So, And I was just like, I'm not doing this. So
This is crap.
yeah,
This is more disappointing than finding out what Smash Tour was.
yeah.
Like, oh, new game mode, sweet. Smash Tour? Oh god, no.
Smash Tour is just a boring board game. What was the 3DS one called?
Smash
Run. Smash Run
That
was
was really cool.
Smash Run was fun. Since you got various power-ups and then like you didn't know what the fight was going to be, so you don't know if it's going to be a race, you know if it's going to be to kill as many enemies as possible, you know if you're just going to fight each other.
Use all the characters you collected in a stock fight.
You know if it was going to be like a race to the finish, like climb the mountain thing, like you didn't know what you were going to do, so you had to try and prepare for everything, and it was just cool. Although Mario Kart did give you the option to like turn items on and off, or not exactly. It was like different categories of items. I think did it give you the option to turn items off? Were there items you could turn on and off like Smash? You could say like this item can't appear. I actually don't remember.
I don't think it did.
And then obviously Chocobo didn't do that. Although Kart Riders Drift just recently had an update that let you pick stages that you don't want to play on.
They let you strike those so they wouldn't put you on them.
Yeah, which I thought was cool because if there are courses that you hate or courses that like you don't want to race online because you're not used to them yet, you can just strike them so that they don't show up.
The courses that are like 4 and 5 circles of difficulty are really hard.
Yeah, level 4 and 5 courses are tough. So like you need to take time to learn those because they are brutal because they're always one lap and they're really long. And then the only other thing I had for categories was like the online, because Mario Kart 8's online has been the same probably since Wii. Like it has not changed at all.
Yeah, you get points, you lose points depending on where you are on the board, and there you go. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
They have fun for battle and race.
Yeah, and it's iffy because it's Nintendo, you know, basic stuff.
Yeah. Nothing I haven't seen before.
Yeah, so Chocobo GP had the tournament thing going on, which was kind of cool. It did suck it was the only option, but
there's no like quick race. You couldn't do like
random quick races.
Yeah.
Unless you'd have to set up a lobby to play with friends, or you do the Chocobo tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which was kind of cool. Although it also made it so like you couldn't randomly run into people online. Like if we were both playing, like there's a chance that we wouldn't be in the same race.
But we're in the same 64 group, so there's a chance we could run into each other, and then we both make it, and then be in different
Yeah,
races.
it's very strange. It was weird.
And
But
then, like,
those are
we
really the only
last
options
one.
they gave you. Kart Riders Drift, because it's free, it's online only. Well, unless you do like the license
races.
challenges, which are surprisingly hard.
Yeah, they're pretty difficult. It's like a lot.
Yeah, or time attack are like the only things you can do offline. But yeah, so because that's how you unlock some courses to play online. Like the more difficult ones is that you'd have to do that.
You have to increase your license.
But yeah, those licenses are really hard. Like I had a hard time with them, having to learn like the items and stuff.
Yeah.
But I needed that Merit costume, so I learned. So
I adapted.
yeah, you have to. And then Disney Speedstorm has its casual mode and its ranked mode, which is pretty basic, but also it's not that bad because you've got like the casual where every character is set a particular way that you can't change. And then there are characters in there that go through free rotations. You can try characters out if you want, which is cool because some characters are hard to get. Like Randall, even though it's a Monsters Inc. event going on right now, Randall is impossible to get.
Randall's really difficult.
And then there's also like the Beauty and the Beast characters and the Jungle Book characters, which are just kind of there, and they're also hard to get unless you like get a decent pull.
Or if the multiplayer will give you shards.
Yeah, that's
for
true.
Points.
Yeah, you can get them that way too.
Yeah, unranked multiplayer you can get points, and depending on how many points you get at the end. or like you go through a tier. There's like 5 tiers, I think, and the max tier is like 2,000 points, which isn't too bad.
No,
It just takes like maybe depending on how well you do with races, it'll take maybe about 2 hours
Yeah.
to get to that. So it's really easy.
I was gonna say, I mean, I did only maybe like 3 or 4 races. I think I only did 3, and I got like 600. I think something like that.
Yeah.
Or no, it's like over 800, because they want me to get up to 1,400 now. So.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Plus, that's like the casual mode, and then rank mode, you have to use the characters the way you have them set up, and hope you don't raise someone that's 5 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty basic. But like I said, I tried not to be too hard on Disney Speedstorm because it's the most recent one. So I'm sure they will change things with time. And for the most part, with all of that out of the way, the final thing is, which car racer should you be playing? Which is a loaded question. So, because you could easily, honestly, you could play any of them.
You can play any of them depending on which one grabs your interest.
Yeah, because like Chocobo GP, even though its online is shutting down in June, I believe it's June, so like next month, its online is not going to be available anymore. But you can still play it offline, you can still play it locally, and like I said, you can play the game and unlock everything. So everything they had in their battle passes, you can unlock just by playing the game now.
Yeah, it's all available in the shop.
Yeah, so there are no more battle passes, which it never should have had to begin with.
But, you know.
But whatever. So, so that game is just fine. Now, Kart Riders Drift is worth trying because it's free. So you can just give it a shot. If you don't like it, you can just delete it. It won't cost you anything. It also has the cheapest battle passes, which are like $5. And Disney Speedstorm, like I said, I don't know if the free version's out yet. I assume it is, but I don't know.
Right.
So when the free version is available, it's definitely worth trying. Otherwise, I would wait until that happens. Because, I mean, if it's free, then there's no reason not to try it. Well, I mean, actually, Chocobo GP had a light version that would let you play the game, but only gave you 3 characters and everyone else was locked out. So if you wanted to try the game, then you could. And then if you liked it, you could buy it. But a lot of people, like, it gave you full access to the game, but you only got 3 characters. So they're not even cool. So at least there's a way to try that one. Now, Mario Kart. Probably don't even need to recommend it because I'm sure everyone's played it. Like, that game's been out since 2014.
You ever played it on Wii U or Switch? You've played it once before.
Yeah, you've definitely played it, so you probably don't even need to say anything.
It's still full price to this day, so.
Well, yeah, it's because, I mean, they're still supporting it now. So, here's my thing. I played Chocobo GP, like, I played it when it came out, and I liked it, even though I know that it was having problems, and I know that Square Enix dug their own grave with that game.
Yeah.
Gameplay-wise, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, and I thought it was cool, and it had enough people to make online races happen pretty regularly. Granted, I don't play it anymore, but I got my fill with that game.
Yeah.
Kart Riders Drift and Disney Speedstorm are the ones that I'm still playing regularly, or often enough. Now, for Mario Kart, probably have to say Mario Kart is probably the best game of all of them. Probably because it's been around for so long, and it's the most fleshed out. I mean, it's like part of a series, whereas the other 3, like Chocobo GP, is just well, I mean, Chocobo GP was a game on PlayStation, and they're kind of just trying to do that again, a more like modern take on it, which didn't work out.
Yeah.
And then Disney Speedstorm and Kart Riders Drift are just like their own ideas. Although Kart Riders had games before this, but it's besides the point. at least for me personally, the thing with Mario Kart is that even though Mario Kart 8 is a great game, and it's been popular since it came out.
Yeah, hard to
Like-
believe it's going on 10 years.
Yeah, it's been out for like going like 9 years now. Like that's crazy. My thing is that I don't want to play it anymore
I don't want to play anymore.
because I've played so much of it that I just want to play a different car racer. I just want to play other stuff. So I will wait until 9 comes out. Who knows? Maybe it'll never come out. Maybe when these courses are done, they'll put more in. I don't know.
They'll just change the name to 9 and then put more in it.
They'll just do like the Mario Kart 9 preview pack where they'll make a bunch of new courses and put them in the game. I mean, they still got Mario Kart Tour going on. Because that's still popular, I think. I played it a little bit.
Oh.
It's not for me, but like they're still updating that game too. And some of the stages in Mario Kart Tour got into Mario Kart 8 and vice versa. So, like I know that they're doing just fine with those. But I've played so much Mario Kart 8 over the years that I just wanted a different car racer to play. And I was hoping that 9 would come out, and then they announced more courses, and I was just like, but I don't want to play this one anymore.
Then they put Birdo in it. It's like, eh?
Yeah. See, now, at least for me personally, the only way I'd go back to Mario Kart 8 is if they made a blooper playable.
It was an item, so I don't think they're going to do it.
They could take a different colored blooper, make it like pink blooper. Can make pink blooper playable.
Big blooper. Shrink them down, put them in a car. Big blooper.
Because I don't see why not.
From Mario Party 7, just make the big blooper character. do what
I'd
they
be
did,
fine
do what they
with
did with
that.
Honey Queen, just shrink them down.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. I just want a game where I can play as Blooper 'cause I like him. Because I think he has a name that's cool, it's fun to say, and he's a cute little squid. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to play as him.
Oh yeah, Mario Kart 8 put King Boo in it. And then they put the Boo item. I forgot.
Yeah, Mario Kart.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe did that.
Yeah. Huh.
Because Boo wasn't in... Boo nor King Boo were in 8, and then Deluxe put them both in it.
Yeah, who'd have thought?
Yeah, like, oh yeah, I forgot they did that.
Yeah. Because in 64, Boo was just an item.
He was an item in every game. And then, even in Wii? No, Boo wasn't
No,
in Wii.
Double Dash he was not an item, but King Boo was in the game.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so that's just my take on it. If they come out with the courses and Blooper becomes a playable character, I'll play Mario Kart 8 again. But otherwise, I'm just gonna wait for 9 and hope that he's in that. Because the only game I can play as Blooper is Mario Party 8, and I don't like Mario Party 8.
I don't like it.
And that's the only one Blooper got. Meanwhile, Super Mario Party, they'll let you play as a goddamn Goomba, but I can't be Blooper.
Goomba with no arms. But yeah, why not?
They're like, what's the Goomba? Fuck!
Who asked for Goomba?
Goombas!
Who asked for Goomba? Who wanted it?
That's a throwback to, alright, Nintendo, we're gonna do this, to play this video game. You and me, Mario.
Mario frustration.
Yeah, Super Mario.
That's like what, 15 years old?
That was like what, 2007, 2008? That video is old, but I love that video. It's an old as hell video, but I love it, so. But yeah, I guess overall, I think that's really all we had to say. Is that car races have been flourishing, at least the last
For right
few.
now.
Yeah, like with Car Rider Drift and Disney Speedstorm both being around. But free games in general have been flourishing. Like there's a lot of free games that have come and go. With like Multiverses and Omega Strikers just came out. That's the air hockey one.
Yeah.
And like Pokemon Unite's still going strong. Like there's a lot of games out there that even if you can't afford to buy games, there's a wide variety of games that you can play for free, and that's great. And these two car racers, Disney Speedstorm and Car Rider Drift, can just be put on your list of free games to try. I mean, I still play Paladins. I've been playing that since 2017, so
Yeah.
yeah, so there's that too. Like every genre is going to get at least one game. We're waiting for the fighting game, for a free fighting game, like a traditional fighter, not Multiverses. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's all I got.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
I think we're good here.
Yeah, but yeah. So thanks for listening to this ramble. I know it was very it was not very well constructed, but I think for the most part, got all our thoughts out there. If you like, you can like, comment, subscribe, talk about the kart racers that we haven't talked about. Like if there's any ones you played that you very much enjoyed or very much didn't. Like I never played the Carter's Kart Racer game, so I don't know what that's like. But you can let us know if you have played it, because I don't know anything about that one. Because I know there was a Carter's 1. And I heard of Carter's 2. I didn't know 1 even existed. I don't think 2 is out. Like, I have no idea. So I haven't really been keeping up with it. Since I don't really play on PC. I don't have a Steam Deck yet, so I don't keep up with PC. And I know there are kart racers all over there. Like, they've had various ones that have come and gone, but I haven't been keeping track of them. Also, Sonic Racing Transformed had, like, extra characters on PC. Like Football Manager.
And the Team Fortress.
Yeah, the Team Fortress. Yeah, because for some reason, Football Manager is always the first one that comes to mind. It's really funny. Oh,
Yeah, I
man.
don't know.
Yeah, alright, but I think we're done here, and at some point if we come up with another topic, we'll come back with more to say.
Tune in next time. We'll make a souffle.
Souffle?
Yeah, it's our cooking show that we're gonna start.
Well,
Tomorrow.
you just play Cooking Mama.
Play cooking. Yeah.
Cooking Mama Cookstar without the controversy.
Without the crypto.